Loving an avoidant person is a lesson in patience, empathy, and emotional strength. It's not about fixing them or changing who they are. It's about learning how to build trust slowly and gently. Avoidants don't run from love because they don't care. They run because love feels unfamiliar, even dangerous. When you can show them that connection doesn't have to mean losing control, that closeness can exist without pressure, they begin to see love in a new light. The journey requires you to stay calm when their walls rise, to remain kind when they retreat, and to keep your heart steady even when they test your stability. But your role is not to carry their healing, it's to hold space for it while staying true to yourself. The moment they realize that you won't chase, abandon, or punish them, something inside begins to soften. That's when safety turns into trust, and trust grows into genuine love. With consistency, gentle honesty, and emotional steadiness, you become the person who teaches them that love can be both free and safe, that intimacy doesn't mean losing oneself, and that real connection is built not through fear, but through peace. How to make an avoidant feel safe enough to love you. Everyone wants love, but not everyone has learned how to receive or give it in the same way. When you fall in love with someone who has an avoidant attachment style, love begins to feel like a delicate balancing act. One wrong word, one emotional request, and they seem to pull away. They hide behind polite smiles, half-written replies, or long stretches of silence. It's not that they don't feel anything, because they do. But the closer love comes to them, the more unsafe it feels inside. So how can you make an avoidant feel safe enough to love you without losing your own emotional balance? It begins by realizing that for them, love is not about passion or intensity. It's about steadiness. To reach their heart, you must first understand their fears. Avoidant people carry a deep, hidden fear of being consumed, emotionally, mentally, or even physically. It's not that you are too emotional or too needy, it's that for them, closeness once came with pain. In many cases, being vulnerable in childhood meant being controlled, criticized, or ignored. Maybe they were praised for being independent, but rejected when they showed feelings. So now, as adults, when someone gets emotionally close, their body doesn't relax, it tenses. Their nervous system sounds an alarm instead of feeling joy. The way to make them feel safe isn't through grand romantic gestures or endless reassurance, but by creating a space where their independence is valued and their pace is respected. They need a love that breathes, not one that smothers. That doesn't mean you should become cold, detached, or play hard to get. Games destroy trust. What they actually respond to is calmness, emotional balance, and clarity. When you share your feelings, do it without guilt, anger, or blame. For example, instead of saying, "Why won't you ever open up to me?" you could say, "I feel closest to you when we share things. When you're ready, I'd love to hear what's on your mind." This small change in wording removes pressure and replaces it with choice. And choice is vital for avoidance. They need to feel they want to connect, not that they are being pushed into it. Love becomes safe when it's gently offered, not demanded. Timing also matters deeply. Never confront an avoidant emotionally when they are already pulling away or shutting down. When they are overwhelmed, their walls rise quickly. If you push or chase them in that moment, they will see it as a threat. But if you give them room with patience and kindness while staying emotionally consistent, they begin to feel that you're not another source of danger. You're safe. They start associating your presence with calm instead of pressure. It's similar to approaching a frightened animal. You don't run toward it or reach too fast. You wait, still and patient, until it feels brave enough to come closer on its own. When it finally does, it's because it trusts you. That slow, growing trust is where true love begins, not in fireworks, but in quiet understanding. Another key to building safety is learning how to match their emotional pace. That doesn't mean hiding who you are or suppressing what you feel. It means being mindful about timing and intensity. If an avoidant opens up a little, say they admit, "It's hard for me to trust people," that is a big moment for them. Don't respond by sharing your entire emotional story or diving deep into vulnerability right away. Instead, acknowledge what they said with gentle acceptance. You might reply, "I understand. Trust takes time. I'm not in a hurry." Those simple words tell them you're emotionally mature, that you see them, and that you respect their rhythm. It shows them love doesn't have to mean losing control, because that's the core of it. Avoidants don't actually fear love itself. They fear losing control, losing themselves in the emotional pull of another person. The more they feel they can keep their independence while slowly building closeness, the safer love becomes. When you allow them space without resentment, when you remain steady rather than reactive, you help rewire their inner world. Every calm response teaches them that connection doesn't have to mean suffocation. Bit by bit, closeness starts to equal peace instead of panic. Avoidant individuals often pay close attention to how you behave, even if they pretend not to. They watch how you handle their distance. They notice if you become angry, cold, or manipulative when they pull away. They see if you use silence to punish or drama to get attention. Every time you choose calmness over chaos, you show them something different. You teach them that love doesn't have to be a battlefield. It can be safe, soft, and predictable. If you can become that emotional safe space, the person who doesn't chase, doesn't beg, but also doesn't vanish, they will start to lean in. It might be slow, but it will be real. At the same time, remember that your needs matter too. Loving an avoidant doesn't mean you accept everything without question. You also need to set clear, gentle boundaries. Avoidants actually respect people who have self-respect and emotional balance. Boundaries show strength, not rejection. So if they disappear for days and return as if nothing happened, don't explode in anger, but don't ignore it either. You could calmly say, "I understand you need space sometimes, but when you go silent, I feel disconnected. Let's find a way to stay in touch that works for both of us." This kind of honest but steady communication teaches them that relationships can handle truth without chaos. It tells them emotional honesty is safe. Creating emotional safety for an avoidant is about showing that love doesn't threaten their sense of self. It's about proving through time and consistency that closeness doesn't erase freedom. Be patient with their rhythm. Understand that their avoidance isn't a lack of care. It's a defense built long ago to survive emotional pain. The more you show them that you see their humanity, not just their defenses, the more they'll feel safe dropping their guard. But remember, you are not there to heal them. You are there to love honestly while maintaining your own emotional center. This process isn't easy. It requires maturity, empathy, and strong boundaries. It means loving with both an open heart and grounded feet. But if you can do that, if you can stay calm when they retreat, gentle when they return, and steady through the waves, you become the person who teaches them what love can truly feel like, safe, calm, and free. That's when the avoidant starts to realize that connection isn't a trap, it's a choice. And when they choose you, it won't be because they need you. It'll be because for the first time they feel safe enough to love. Speak calmly and say something like, "I care about you and I value consistency. If you need space, I respect that. But I also need open and honest communication." That alone sends a strong message. It tells them you are kind and understanding, but also self-respecting. You are safe, but not someone who can be walked over. This balance of warmth and strength attracts avoidance deeply. They don't trust emotional drama, but they do respect emotional clarity. Patience is everything here. You can't change an avoidant overnight, and if you try to rush it, you'll end up exhausted. Instead of counting how quickly they open up, focus on the subtle signs. Are they messaging you more often without being asked? Do they check in about how you're doing? Do they stay and listen during conversations they once would have avoided? Those are major milestones in the avoidant world. Appreciate these small moments quietly, without turning them into pressure. Recognize their efforts, but don't ask for more than they can give at that time. Love them where they are, not where you wish they could be. Another important part of this is emotional responsibility. Never make them responsible for your happiness. Avoidants often pull away when they feel they need to fix your emotions. If you're feeling lonely, sad, or anxious, take ownership of those feelings without turning them into their burden. You can share your emotions, but frame it with maturity. Say something like, "I'm feeling this way and I'm working through it." That shows strength and balance. Ironically, the more you take care of your own emotional space, the safer they feel entering it. They don't want to be the center of your emotional world. They just want to belong to it without losing themselves in it. Let's be real. Loving an avoidant isn't easy, and it isn't for everyone. If you crave constant attention, daily affection, and deep emotional closeness, this path will challenge you in ways you may not expect. But that challenge can teach you something powerful about love. That love is not about changing someone to meet your needs. It's about understanding whether the love they offer feels right and safe for you. Before trying to make an avoidant feel secure enough to open up, ask yourself, do I feel secure in this relationship? Am I growing, or am I always waiting for small crumbs of affection? Emotional safety must be mutual. It's not just about protecting them, it's also about protecting yourself. The most powerful thing you can do for both of you is to choose shared safety instead of silent self-sacrifice. Ironically, when you stop trying to pull love from them and instead focus on staying emotionally grounded, strong, and calm, they begin to draw closer. It's because your energy no longer threatens their sense of independence. You've stopped chasing and started standing. You've become their equal, not their pursuer. And in that stillness, something amazing unfolds. They begin to love you, not from fear or guilt, but from genuine desire. That's the real secret to loving an avoidant. Make love feel like a choice, never a duty. So, if you're walking this path, take heart. Progress might feel slow, but it's still progress. An avoidant might never become the most expressive or romantic partner, but if they feel safe with you, their devotion will be steady and deep. Their love may not come in grand gestures, but it will be honest and consistent. And in a world full of confusion and noise, that kind of quiet love is rare and precious. So focus on building safety through your energy, not just your words. Love them with calm strength and allow them to come closer, not because they fear losing you, but because they trust being near you. If this message helped you see avoidant love more clearly, take a moment to reflect on your own emotional boundaries and needs. You can't create safety for someone else if you don't already feel it within yourself. Remember, true love isn't about chasing, fixing, or proving anything. It's about showing up with honesty, calmness, and constancy. If you're sharing your life with an avoidant, keep your heart grounded and your energy patient. Stay soft, but stay centered, because the moment you stop trying to be chosen and start choosing peace, everything changes. Love begins to flow freely, not as a chase, but as a calm, mutual connection built on trust and choice. In the end, loving an avoidant is less about strategy and more about self-awareness. It teaches you that love cannot be forced or earned through effort alone. It grows in spaces where both people feel safe, respected, and free to be themselves. When you stop chasing and start choosing yourself, you create the calm energy that draws genuine connection. Love them with patience, not pressure. Accept their pace without losing your own rhythm. The right kind of love doesn't demand you to shrink. It invites you to stay whole. And when two people can meet from that wholeness, even an avoidant heart can learn to trust, open, and love deeply, not out of fear, but out of freedom.